everybody, this week on ANN News Kids, we'll be talking about the Myanmar fighting and coup, the dinosaur species found in Australia, the largest mammal to have ever roamed on Earth's land, and North Korea famine. The extra fun segment is all about football, and we are talking to Brigitte Labat, who is a doctor in Mauritius, for the Spiritual Career segment. The winner of the Country of the Week segment was Vritti Shah. Congratulations to her, she guessed Portugal correctly. Don't forget to write your answers in the comments below, and also don't forget to like, subscribe and share because we are trying to reach 1,000 subscribers this year. The UN called a rare stop to arms deals in Myanmar. This is because of the coup that has been going on this year. They also declared that political figures such as Aung San Suu Kyi, the elected leader, should be released. There's a large risk of a civil war in Myanmar, and security forces have already killed more than 860 people. They've also held more than 5,000 protesters captive, and the police officers and security, as well as the soldiers, have started shooting and beating people for no reason. People have started taking videos now for evidence so that the police forces and soldiers can get consequences for their actions. Scientists in Australia discovered that the southern titan is the largest dino species found on the continent. It would have been up to 6.5 meters tall and 30 meters long. It was first found on a farm in Queensland in 2007, and for more than a decade, scientists have been examining it. It's a sauropod, meaning a plant-eating dinosaur, and its nickname is Cooper. It's among the 15 largest dinosaurs found on Earth. Paleontologists in China discovered a giant rhino species called Parasauritherium. It's the largest mammal to have ever roamed Earth on land, and it was mostly found in Asia. Its fossil was complete, which is rare, and it had an unbroken jaw and skull. It would have weighed 24 tons and would have been 6 times the size of an elephant. It would be 26 feet in length and 23 feet in height. It roamed Earth around 31 million years ago, and it got extinct probably due to climate change and weather. North Korea is facing a difficult food crisis. Even the country's leader, Kim Jong-un, admitted that. Due to a typhoon, the agriculture sector has not been able to produce much grain, and the food is becoming really expensive over there. 1 kilogram of bananas costs $45 US. They've decided to skip the Olympics because of COVID-19, and they have closed the borders for the same reason. They rely on China for food, fuel, and fertilizers, which is why because of their closed borders, they are finding a hard time to do trade.
All right.
Perfect. So, could you start by introducing yourself?
My name is Brigitte Labat.
And what do you do? What's your career or profession?
I'm a family medical practitioner.
Okay, thank you. Can you explain a little bit more about what you do as a family medical practitioner?
Yeah. So basically, I am in a lot of countries the first port of call. That means that I would see everybody with any medical condition in the UK or South Africa. And it works best like that because then whatever medical condition, if it's something first level, that is something that I am trained up to deal with. This can be in pediatrics right through to geriatrics, or as I sometimes say, from the cradle to the grave. Then that's something at my level. And I can also then coordinate if people need to see specialists and try and make sure that I orientate them to the correct specialist. And after they've seen said specialist, then to have them back and to make sure that all the information that they require for future therapies is in one place.
Thank you. And what brought you to this position? So what was your journey so far?
Okay, well, I got interested already when I was in school, and then I did my first general medical training in the University of Cape Town in South Africa. And at that stage, to be perfectly honest, I had a tendency towards neurosurgery, and actually started off that route, and then discovered that it wasn't exactly what I had my heart set on. I was missing the babies, I was missing the old people, and then I went to the UK and did the family general practice qualification, and ended up working there. And since then, it's obviously been the good choice for me, in that I get to do a little bit of everything, which really appeals to me.
Wow.
And then I went to South Africa, and I ran an outpatient department and a trauma unit. And then I've been here for a very long time.
Wow. And what do you like the most about your job?
It sounds a bit of a cliche, I know, for a lot of medical practitioners, but it really is helping people. That ability to apply the knowledge that I have learned, and the fact that the knowledge is always increasing. There's always something new in the medical field.
Yeah.
And to really use that to help people is a fantastic feeling. Human contact, and also just personally, every day is never the same. So I'm never going into a job where I never know what I'm going to get that day.
Wow.
And that's exciting, you know? Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Wow.
Thank you. And how has COVID-19 affected what you do?
Well, in the first curfew here, I had my first experience. As you can see, I'm not very glib with this, but actually doing telemedicine, which I didn't use the Zoom platform, but I used the WhatsApp platform. And that was an interesting experience. It was also a time of great anxiety for a lot of my patients. So as much time as I was spending doing online consultations via telemedicine, I was also spending probably an equal amount of time just explaining to people, you know, from a medical point of view, what was going on, maybe translating some of the incredible amount of fake news we've been getting on the internet. And that was quite spectacular, how much false information could actually just burst out there. So that made a lot of people very anxious. And then this curfew, it's been a lot smoother, because everybody sort of knew how to get into the same routine again. And then in respect of information, I think it's happened to all businesses, our information online has also exploded. So a lot of the conferences and things that were very much reserved for on-site participation, everything seems to have opened right up, that I'm even more able to get hold of great information from various universities around the world online. I don't have to move to participate. Yeah.
And what differences have you seen from like before the COVID world and after the COVID world in like your patients? As you said, you're doing it online.
Yeah, in the positive aspect is that people who previously, did have a subgroup of patients who didn't have even cell phones or internet, older generation, they have, you know, very enthusiastically embraced that, okay, and also embraced the idea of telemedicine, which is, you know, is not quite the same thing. I don't think, honestly, I don't think you'll ever replace, you know, the fact that I could touch somebody's hand or obviously physically examine them. But they have managed to adapt to that quite nicely. On the flip side of that, I think we're in for a very rocky road, I think, with a lot of the effect this has had on my younger patients, in that it has been an extreme change of environment for young people. And I think that the most frightening thing I saw, just after the first curfew, was a tiny little lass of 3, as her mother walked towards my door to leave after consultation. The little girl threw her hands up in horror and said, "Oh no, mummy, don't touch the doorknob." And I thought, oh dear. It's really has affected young people in ways I think we're about to discover over the next few years.
Yeah. We read in your biography that you do a lot of things with you really diving, and a lot of water activities interest you. Yes. And you specialize in the oxygen.
Yeah, it's a diploma. It's not a full speciality. Okay, my speciality, if you'd like to call it that. In other words, what I spent 4 to 5 years studying after my 7 years of medical studies and 2 years of internship. So 9 plus 4. That brings me to family medicine, family practitioner. Okay, I do have an additional diploma, but not a degree, in hyperbaric medicine, which means that that's dealing with anything medical or surgical that's treated in a hyperbaric chamber, as well as anything pertaining to diving, specifically scuba diving.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you for saying that. And do you have any advice for kids?
Sure. Okay. The first thing I'd say, from the get-go is get out there while you're at school still and try and experience as many different things as you can and find your passion. I happen to feel very strongly that what you end up doing, I feel so lucky that every day I look forward to getting to work. Okay, I've got to know entire families from sort of 3 generations as a family practitioner here, which has been incredibly fortunate and a great experience. So I say to young people, try and discover before you apply yourself to a study what your passions are. You want to be doing something you really enjoy. You do not want to be choosing something for the money or the impressing somebody else. This is what you're going to have to do 24/7. All right. So find your passions. And then if you have the opportunity, grab that opportunity to do a stage, to do an apprenticeship. Sometimes what you think might sound very glamorous, when you actually see what people do 9 to 5 might not be your thing at all. And that would be my advice. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time and your insights. Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah. We learned so much.
My pleasure. Nice talking to you.
Same here. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Le Portugal est un pays situé au sud de l'Europe. Sa capitale est Lisbonne et sa population est de 10 millions d'habitants. La majeure partie d'énergie là-bas est renouvelable et c'est l'un des meilleurs pays pour surfer parce qu'il y a de longues côtes et des météos. C'est le premier producteur mondial de liège et il a le plus ancienne libraire du monde. Le sanctuaire de Fatima est le lieu de pèlerinage populaire des chrétiens fidèles. C'est un empire très puissant et c'est connu comme le premier empire de l'histoire. L'empire colonisait moitié du monde oriental, Nouveau Monde, et comme l'Asie, Afrique et Brésil. Le football est le plus préféré sport là-bas et c'est très populaire. Ce sont quelques Portugais célébrés. L'explorateur Ferdinand Magellan, il était connu pour la première expédition à parcourir la globe. Vasco da Gama, il était le premier Européen à visiter Inde par la mer est Cristiano Ronaldo, le footballeur portugais très célébré et qui est l'attaquant du club Juventus. Il est aussi le capitaine de la football équipe nationale de Portugal. Hi everybody, for the extra fun segment today, I'm going to be talking about football. I hope you enjoy. It was invented in China in 476 BC. It's the most watched and played sport. Around 1 billion people watched the FIFA World Cup final between France and Croatia. In 1937, there was the first live television football match. 80% of the footballs are manufactured in Pakistan. The international football game is 90 minutes long and it's divided into two parts, each being 45 minutes long. E-football is now considered an actual sport. The Women's FIFA Cup started in 1991. Sheffield FC is the oldest pro football club in the world. It started in 1857. North Korea's Rangdo Mayday Stadium is the largest stadium in the world.